Okay, so for this project, we're going to be creating something called a notan design. Repeat after me. We are creating a notan. This is a Japanese form of art that deals with balance. Good. So we're going to be using positive and negative space. Our positive space is anything that is in the black, and our negative space is anything in the white. However, we're going to manipulate the positive and the negative space. So, but I didn't say Xander, did I? Or I said Xander, and you're not Xander, are you? Alright, so these are some student examples of notan designs. So they've started with a black piece of paper and a colored background. We're using black and white because I want them all to have a high contrast. So this is made by cutting out a shape. So if you look closely at this, they've cut out a curl. All you have to do to create this design is then flip the thing that you've cut out over to the outside and glue it in opposition to here. This one is a really simple way to look at it here. They've cut out a triangle, something simple, and then flipped it over. You can sort of make it up as you go along, or you can draw it out and then do it. So let's take a look at this one. This one is using symmetrical balance. That means what they did here, they did here. You could cut it in half here and it would be the same. You could cut it in half diagonal and you have the same balance. This is a very simple design. Okay, so this is as simple as a curved line. I think of it like as a banana shape or like the end of a bullhorn. And all it is they've repeated that over and over again. However, they've changed the size of it and it gives it a good balanced design. Here's another student where they went a little bit more intricate and they went with an asymmetrical design, meaning that if I cut it in half this way, it's pretty balanced, but if I cut it in half this way, it's not symmetrical anymore. Now this one, they have taken the time to do multiple cuts into one shape, and I'll show you how that will work in a minute. And then they just altered the way that their lines go. Here's another version of that, just with different curved lines. Okay, so let me show you how this is going to work out. You're going to get one white 12 by 12 paper and one black 6 by 6 paper. You want to put your name and your class code on the back of the white paper because the black paper is going to get cut up and glued down. Now, you are going to either have to work fast enough that you get all this finished today, or you're going to have to mark the back of your black pieces with your name so that they don't get lost. Okay? So let's say I'm going to draw out my shapes. If you want to draw out your shapes, you can, and if you just want to go for it and start cutting into it, you can. However, this piece should never break apart into more than one solid piece in the middle. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. Let's say I start with something simple like a rainbow line but with a point on top. Alright, you guys can't see that too well, but I can. So I'm going to cut that out. It looks like a really flat Hershey Kiss. Okay, now this is an important part. Don't just start cutting and not thinking about where things go. So this will eventually get glued down to here. This is like a puzzle. It fits in there, so all I have to do is now flip it over and push it in line with here. Okay? Let's say I want to do the exact same thing at the top. Draw a very similar shape. Cut that out. So think of these like pieces of a puzzle. This fits onto that one like this. This one would be fitting right like this, so now all I have to do is flip it. So now I have a symmetrical design, but I have to do something over here. Let's just say I want to do I'm going to do 2 skinny triangles on this side. Alright, so if I put this on here, these are my puzzle pieces, so I just flip them over. Alright, and then I have to do something over here, so I could repeat those 2 things, or I could do something different. Now, I could glue all this down, and I could be done. If you want to be a little bit more complex with your design, you can now cut into these shapes instead of just these shapes. If I cut something out here, I would still have one solid piece, so never cut all the way straight through or straight across. But let's say I want to get more complex with this. Let's say I just cut out the exact same shape. Okay, now it's like a piece of a puzzle, so I put this back. Who knows what I need to do with this piece? Erica, flip it. So now this one's going back up. And boom, there's a double-sided, and now that adds a lot more dimension than just that one. I could even take this piece now, and I could cut it one more time. Put this back. Now this one's going to go from here, flip it. And you got to make sure you get it just so when you glue them back on. As far as you like, or keep it as basic if you like. If I say to clean up and you don't have time to glue them down, put your names on the back of all these pieces so you know they're yours, and then leave them on top of your white paper. Capiche? I'm going to bring you on paper first. Draw out your design or think about how you want it to look. Put your name and your class code, and then I'll bring you around scissors and glue, and you can start cutting, gluing, assembling where you want to. Capiche?